Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Want to spend a little bit of time talking about what Obamacare is going to do to you. Is it slapstick comedy or an American tragedy? That's the question. Daniel Weber, who is the president of the Association of Mature American Citizens, which is a conservative answer to the very crazy AARP. Ironically, my father-in-law is visiting from Minnesota. He asked me, because now I'm 51, hey, have you joined AARP? I said, I'm no more likely to join that than I am to become, a member of the Socialist Party or the Democratic Party or anything else, which he looked at me with great chagrin. I think people underestimate the political agenda of AARP, and it's great that there's an alternative group out there that helps provide people, answers in their, and saving money and doing smart things and providing services as we get older, but at the same time doesn't sell out my liberties. Good to have you on, Dan.
Great to talk to you again, Kevin. How you been?
Good. So real quickly, kind of give us that 411 about the association. I think I covered it fairly well, but give that, and then let's talk about what in the world Obamacare is going to do to us.
Great. We're real simple. AMAC is the conservative alternative to AARP, and now we have 725,000 members across the country. We've got a Social Security bill before Congress that's getting a good reception, and things are going really, really good for us. And like you said, Kevin, AARP has swung sharply to the left. They supported Obamacare, even though their members sent emails and phone calls 14-1 against it. They still went ahead and supported Obamacare, which, as you know, is a horror story.
It's a horror story, and to the group that's going to do the most damage to are the senior citizens.
That's correct. The seniors are going to get hurt the most. It almost looked like in the drive to have the government control everything. Now we've got this payment review board that's going to tell bureaucrats are going to tell doctors what procedures they can or cannot do. And guess who's going to be auditing all of that? The IRS.
Hey, wait a minute. That guy's a conservative. We got to get him off of life support.
Kevin, what bothers me most about the IRS scandal, the $50 million that they spent on junkets and, fund conventions and so on. A friend of mine who's involved with veterans said, they could have built 250 homes for amputees from Iraq and Afghanistan with that money.
Wow. That's unbelievable when you think about it. It's scandalous, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a darn shame. Well, the fact that, we're getting tactics. The government has said we're not going to look for terrorists anymore. There are no terrorists. So where are they finding terrorists? They're finding terrorists in the Tea Party. What's the Tea Party interested in? Smaller government, lower taxes. And you wonder, where the heck are the priorities? Yeah.
Well, and you heard the left right after that bombing in Boston. We hope to God it's a white American guy. Yeah. We don't want it to be some Muslim. And it's like, you know what? You stay in denial while the rest of the country goes up in flames because there are groups that absolutely hate our country. And unfortunately, some of them are serving in the United States government.
Yeah, that's correct. And, when you have a guy who kills people at a military base and injures 24 people, and they say it was a workplace violence thing, you wonder, weren't they listening to what he was yelling when he was shooting?
It's unbelievable. Crazy country we live in, indeed. Well, when we were debating Obamacare, I pointed out the fact, and I pointed it out often, that my mom is from England. She came right off the boat after World War II, and my grandfather passed away because of the fact they did not want to do medical procedures in England because of his age and because of the fact that he was no longer earning income. And so it didn't make sense from an economic perspective to continue to treat him in a way that would sustain and retain longer life. And people think the idea of death panels, that's crazy. That's how socialized medicine stays affordable everywhere around the world. Thomas Sowell put it best. all the costs to healthcare remained the same before Obamacare and after Obamacare. But with Obamacare, you also have to add the cost of government, which always costs way more than anything was before. And therefore, the way that's going to be paid for is through rationing. Am I right or am I right, Daniel?
You are so right on the target. I'll tell you, Kevin. Thank God for Kevin Price and Talk Radio.
I say that every morning.
Yep.
but seriously, people don't get it. They called me an alarmist. I said, tell that to my family who lost a family member because it didn't make economic sense to take care of them anymore. And
Kevin,
that's going to happen all the time.
If people don't believe you, all they have to do is Google Obamacare and look for the phrase value-based medicine. Because what that means is they're basing it on the cost of treatment for people. It's right in the Obamacare law. And I showed it to people, and they said, oh, really? It actually says that. In other words, they don't go by the best way to cure people. They don't go by any. They go by what's the value, the lowest cost to provide medical care, and that means for seniors especially, saying you can't have this, you can't have that.
Now, talk a little bit about those panels that are going to determine, what procedure is best. That's going to be driven primarily by economics. How far away is that from a death panel?
Well, it's not far away at all. And that is the sad thing. People forget that the president was on TV at a press conference, an early press conference, and he said there are some people who they're better off just taking a pill. Meaning a pain pill. I don't think he meant the suicide pill, but I think he meant the pain pill instead of getting a procedure. This guy, Dr. Berwin, who set up Obamacare initially for the first year because they had to leave, the Senate wouldn't confirm him. He said that he based it on points in his institute. The older you are, points against you. The more medicine you take, points against you. Overweight, points against you. Now, here's the part that bothered me the most. How much you had cost the system so far in your life, points against you. So you have two people with heart problems. One person also had a knee replacement that cost $30,000. Well, that person gets put more points against them. They get put behind the person who didn't have the knee replacement. Now, that is crazy.
Republican, points against you.
Oh, I didn't even say that. And God forbid if you admit to being in the Tea Party.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're sorry, but he's going to pass away soon. Wait a minute. He's got a sore throat. He's got tonsillitis. Yeah, oh, well, it's getting worse by the second. Yeah, it's crazy. We live in crazy times. So tell us what your thoughts are. Now it sounds like, looking at your summary, that you better know what exactly the code says, or you may not even get adequate treatment.
Obamacare is so complicated, as we pointed out recently. They have coded everything. So when you go to the doctor, they're going to ask you, well, what exactly happened? And the code is so, for example, if you get hurt by a bird, you have to have 9 different ways that the bird, let's say you have a parrot or a macaw or something, and there's 9 different codes depending on how the bird hurt you. And that's just part of the 9,000 pages of regulations. They have 122,000 medical diagnostic codes in the Affordable Care Act. And those, it's just, I'll tell you, it's the stupidest Rube Goldberg system you ever saw for organizing medicine. Whoever thought of it, well, I don't know where their thinking was. It's just going to make things worse and worse. More paperwork, not less care. And it's going to cost more.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. I want people to learn more about this organization. I want people to, if they have an AARP membership and they think they believe in free enterprise and liberty and small government, you need to cancel that AARP membership immediately and get an AMAC membership. And that website, my friend.
Thank you. AMAC.us.
AMAC, AMAC.us. Check it out. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. God bless.
Hey, I want to put you on hold. I need to talk to you during the break. Dan,
okay, sure.
Thanks very much. All right, I'm Kevin Price. You're listening to The Price of Business, and you're listening to Business Talk 1110 AM.
Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you.